Hello everyone. Welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we have two fascinating stories for you. One takes us deep into the past where ancient manuscripts hold secrets of our history, and the other takes us into world of science uh, where tiny bacteria they are basically waging a war against antibiotics. So we'll be talking about first India's national mission for manuscripts and why it is getting 500 crore from the government. And then we'll explore the rising danger of antibiotic resistance, a silent threat to human health. So put on your thinking caps, and because this episode is packed with history, science, and some important lessons for the future, let's begin. India India has one of the world's richest collections of ancient manuscripts. These are old handwritten documents that contain knowledge about medicine, astronomy, philosophy, and much more. But these manuscripts are fragile and many are thousands of years old. That is why in 2003, the National Mission for Manuscripts was launched by the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Okay, so it was launched in the year 2003 by the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Its job to basically find, preserve, and digitize these priceless pieces of history. Recently, in the Union Budget 2025, this year only, the Indian government announced that the NMM, that is National Mission for Manuscripts, will get 500 crore. Yes, it will get 500 crore for over the next years to function as an autonomous body. Okay, this means that it will work independently to protect and document India's vast manuscript heritage. But here's the twist, there's also a new mission announced called Gyan Bharatam mission. Okay, a new mission called Gyan Bharatam mission for manuscripts. And it's not clear yet if it will be part of the NMM or a separate initiative. Either way, the goal is the same, to save India's rich literary heritage. Now, the question is, why does this matter? See, imagine if a rare book like an ancient Rig Veda manuscript got lost forever. That would mean losing valuable knowledge about ancient Indian culture and science. So NMM has already done some amazing and most, intriguing work. They have already done it. See, it has documented 5.2 million manuscripts across India. 5.2 million. कितना ज़्यादा है ये? And it has conserved 90 million folios, basically, which are pages of manuscripts, right? And it has also digitized 3.5 lakh manuscripts, preserving 3.5 crore pages of knowledge. So they have actually digitized it, matlab uploaded in a digital form, right? But seeing that there are also certain challenges in preserving manuscripts. See, it's not an easy job because many are written on palm leaves, birch bark और cloth which degrade over time, है ना? अब ये देखो, अगर palm leaf के ऊपर लिखा हुआ है तो over time वो क्या होगा? Degrade होगा. Because क्योंकि अब रह रहे हैं वहां पे एंड उसमें एक्सपोजर होगा ह्यूमिडिटी का, इंसेक्ट का, पॉल्यूशन का, so it can make them rot. And these manuscripts, some are in private collection and owners may not want to share them, है ना? तो ये सारे चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं क्योंकि एक तो पाम लीफ को रिस्टोर करना, उसमें बहुत सारी डिफिकल्टी हो सकती है. तो ह्यूमिडिटी है, इंसेक्ट्स है, पोल्यूशन है, और कुछ प्राइवेट कलेक्शन में जिनको जो ओनर्स है वो नहीं देना चाहते, शेयर नहीं करना चाहते. तो these are some of the challenges in preserving manuscript. Say why we do that? क्यों क्यों हमें मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट को प्रिजर्व करना ज़रूरी है? क्योंकि इट कंटेन्स वास्ट नॉलेज ऑफ आर हिस्ट्री, ऋग्वेदा के टाइम से कि क्या हुआ उस टाइम का, सोसाइटी कैसी थी, वहाँ पे क्या क्या अ, किस टाइप के प्रोसीजर यूज़ किए जाते थे, फार्मिंग क्या थी, कौन कौन से, इवन हमें जो अभी नॉलेज है कि पुराने टाइम पे इंडिया इतना ज़्यादा एडवांस था कि उसने साइंटिफिक, इंडिया वाज आल्सो यूजिंग सम साइंटिफिक मेथड्स, so how we came to know that? Only through these manuscripts. So that is the reason we need to preserve our manuscripts. They are sources of knowledge. वो एक तरीके से हमारे पास्ट का की है, right? So you can, here you can see the picture here. See, these are manuscript, and over the time, see humidity and insect, they it make them rot. तो condition इनकी degrade हो जाती है. So इसीलिए government decided that first we're gonna preserve it and then we're gonna digitize it. Okay. Now, what will the 500 crore be used for? See, this funding will help first digitizing more manuscripts so they can last forever. है ना, digitize कर दिया तो forever हो जाएगा. Second, training experts to restore and handle these delicate texts. See, we need expertise. है ना, expertise चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि किसी को भी दिया जा सकता है कि ये restore करने को और handle करने के लिए. Third is encouraging private collectors to share their manuscripts for preservation, right? It is very, very important that these private collectors, they share their manuscripts, right? So think about this. What if we lost all our historical records about kings, wars, medicine, and discoveries? That's why preserving manuscripts is not just about history, it's about protecting human knowledge for the whole future. All right. Now, students, let's shift gears from history to science. Okay. Imagine you have a bad throat infection and the doctor gives you antibiotics. Okay. Doctor gives you antibiotics. You take them and within a few days you're fine. Great, right? But what if the bacteria in your body stop responding to antibiotics? What if no medicine could cure even a simple infection? See, that is what happens in antibiotic resistance. And it is becoming a huge problem worldwide. So, what is antibiotic resistance? Bacteria. Bacteria are what? They are basically tiny living organisms that can cause infections. So, scientists discovered antibiotics. Antibiotics like penicillin, which can kill these bacteria by attacking their cell walls. But here's the problem, bacteria are smart. They evolve new defenses to survive, just like superheroes developing new armor, right? So, bacteria, they are quite smart and they evolve new defense strategies to survive, to fight against these antibiotics. And according to study, in 2021, about 1.2 million people, students, 1.2 million people died worldwide only due to antibiotic resistance because these medicines, they stopped working on them. In Indian hospital, infections from drug resistant bacteria have a 13% mortality rate. So this means people are dying because antibiotics no longer work on certain infection. They are not just dying because they don't have access to medicine. They are dying because antibiotics that are there is no longer working on them, right? Now, the question is, how do bacteria become resistant? What is the reason? See, let's use a fun example. Imagine bacteria are like Lego buildings and their cell walls are built from Lego blocks. Now, antibiotics act like a hammer. They break the Lego wall and the bacteria dies, right? But bacteria learn to repair their walls by developing new enzymes like a glue gun, and these enzymes basically chop up the antibiotics before they can cause the damage and change their targets so the antibiotics can't attack them. This is why antibiotics are becoming less and less effective. All right. Now the question is, why is this a big problem? See, if antibiotic resistance continues to rise, simple infections like pneumonia, tuberculosis, or even cuts and wounds could become deadly. The problem is getting worse because people, number one reason is Yes, number one reason is people misuse antibiotics. For example, they take them without a doctor's advice. है ना, पता डॉक्टर की एडवाइस नहीं करना और अपने आप से ओवर द काउंटर जाके केमिस्ट से मेडिसिन एंटीबायोटिक्स कंज्यूम कर लेना है. सो पीपल आर मिस यूजिंग एंटीबायोटिक्स and they are consuming it when even it is not required. Secondly, second reason is overuse in livestock farming. See, in India also, animals are given antibiotics, and these resistant bacteria through animals it spread to humans, like through milk it can spread to eggs. Third is poor hygiene and sanitation. See, infection spread easily in unclean environments. Now, the question is, what can we do? See, doctors and scientists, they have suggested few steps that we can do to prevent antibiotic resistance happening. First is only take antibiotics when it is prescribed by a doctor. See, if it is not prescribed by a doctor, by a certified health professional, then no need to take it. Okay? So only take antibiotics when it is prescribed by a doctor. Second, completing the whole course. Don't stop taking antibiotics when you feel better. See, we have a tendency that once our symptom goes away, we just stop taking antibiotics. No, but we shouldn't do that. Why? Because there might be certain bacteria that are still there in our system. So we need to complete the full course. Third is improving hygiene. Washing hands and keeping surrounding clean prevents infection. Lastly, scientists they are developing new antibiotics and alternative treatments to fight antibiotic resistance. All right, and Indian scientist Dr. Manjula Reddy and her team at the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad, are studying how bacteria control their cell division. And they found that bacteria compensate for losing certain enzymes by producing new ones. So these discoveries could help develop better antibiotics in the future. Okay, students? But the main thing that you have to focus on is the rise of antibiotic resistance and how you are intentionally, you or the people in your surrounding, they are intentionally causing it. Okay, so remember students, you can discuss this with your friends, your family, that whenever antibiotics is not required, you shouldn't take them. All right, always take antibiotic after it is being prescribed by a health professional, by a doctor, and completing the course is important, right? So today students, we have learned a lot. First we uh, read about some manuscripts of India which contain centuries of wisdom, and it is our responsibility to protect them. And then science is ever changing, bacteria are evolving, and we must be smart in using antibiotics to prevent a future health crisis. Now, both these stories teach us that knowledge and careful action are the keys to preserving the past and securing the future. Okay, students, so that's all for today's episode. If you like this one, don't forget to share it with your friends and family. I'll see you next time with another exciting topic. Until then, stay curious, stay informed. Bye bye.